How long has it been since I've had C2 Furina? November 8th, huh? Okie dokie. At the time of recording this video, it is November, it is not November, it is January 5th. It's a whole different year. I've waited a whole year, and I still haven't activated a single one of my Furina constellations. No, it's actually been about 2 months. And you might be confused. You're like, why? Why would you get the constellations and not activate them? That's crazy. Especially because you're a very loyal viewer, and you know that, C2 Furina drained every single Primo Gem I had to be able to get her. At least I didn't have to spend money for her, which was, nice. The long and short of why I haven't activated C2 Furina is quite simply because I think C2 Furina is a constellation that is much more relevant for more than just, increasing Furina's damage, right? Something like C2 Raiden is relatively simple. It makes Raiden do a bunch more damage in a burst. Wow, complicated. Furina kind of seems like that at a glance because, oh my gosh, 140% HP increase. Wow! I don't care really about that aspect. There is some meme potential with Kiev Kajta's suit and trying to get a really silly amount of HP on Furina to max out Kiev Kajta's suit buff, but I guess maybe I'll try that in this video too. But the HP is not the reason. The reason I think C2 Furina is good, and I think most people understand this at this point, is the fanfare rate increase. So this is an increase of 250%, which notably, normally Furina's buff, where she gives damage bonus, right? So this fanfare to damage conversion. 1 point of fanfare is 1% of HP changing, right? So if Furina's summons are out and they're attacking things, draining your team's HP, each time you have 1% of your character's HP change, that counts as 1 point of fanfare. With C2 Furina, that's increased by 250%, which is to say you get 3.5 points of fanfare per 1% of HP change. And notably, because of Furina's C1 making her start with 150 fanfare and increasing the cap by 100, you only need to generate a total of 250 fanfare in order to get the max damage bonus from Furina's burst. So, Furina C2 reduces the HP you need, like the amount of HP you have to see your character's HP go up and down by, right? From you need a total of 300% HP change to instead 250% HP changed divided by 3.5, which comes out to a little bit over 70% of total HP changes in order to max out her damage bonus. And then anything past that, of course, starts to buff Furina's HP, but again, I don't really care about increasing Furina's damage herself that much. The reason that additional rate is important is because you might be using Furina with healers that are not optimal. That can include characters like Bennett, of course, although Bennett, depending on the team, can work very well as a Furina with C0. You don't need Furina C2, of course, for Bennett to be a good option. But there's plenty of other characters that are non-optimal healers for Furina that C2 makes it so they can get your damage bonus in your characters much more consistently and very easily, such that the equation of oh, what healer I use with Furina is less okay. I want to make sure I have the healers like Jean that, can do a full heal really quickly on their burst, to now I just need a little bit of healing. And that's kind of all it becomes. So you still want healing, but it becomes less of an intensive, oh, I need these specific healers to be able to actually make the most out of Furina's burst. That's what's strong about it. So healers like Noelle, I will showcase in this video, become quite a bit better with Furina. You have other cases like Sayu, I think, is an example of a character that many people don't think is a very good healer for Furina. And maybe you don't have Jean or don't want to level Jean, or you just want to do, fun yo-yo things with Sayu. Sayu has interesting scaling where she gets additional healing from Elemental Mastery, and blah, 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 blah. Point is, right, Sayu might be a worse healer for Furina C0. Furina C2 makes it so you don't need to worry about using a worse healer, and you have other reasons to use other characters. And basically any circumstance of a healer that is healing in a way that's not able to heal your team really, really quickly or heal all of your team members at the same time, right? Furina C2 just makes more healers relevant to use with Furina, which opens up team versatility and team diversity, so you have, more options to play around with things. But there's one other healer, and this is actually the main thing that made me want Furina C2, and that's that the best healer in the game can be Prototype Amber. Prototype Amber at R5, if you read its passive, right? All party members regenerate 6% HP every 2 seconds for this duration. That equates to 18% HP for all 4 party members. And remember, I mentioned that you only need 71% of total HP changing to max out Furina's damage bonus. So if Prototype Amber is regenerating a total of 18% HP times 4, that is 72% of your total team's HP. Just Prototype Amber R5 is basically exactly enough to make it so you can max out Furina's damage bonus when you have Furina C2. And that means, as long as you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of team like fragility or resilience, right? So your team is going to be at most 75% health if you're doing just Prototype Amber. But just Prototype Amber at R5 can be enough to heal and max out damage bonus with Furina C2. And that can open up a very high diversity of team options that you may otherwise not have had access to. And the reason I wanted that is for teams like this team here. I recently made a video about a DPS Kirara because I think DPS Kirara is one of the more fun ways to play Kirara. And this team, of course, uses Furina to give some damage bonus to Kirara so you can get some big damage on Kirara. It's fun. Cool. But of course you need, Baiju to be a healer. And Baiju's not a bad teammate for this team, and, you could use other healers as well. But if Prototype Amber alone is enough to get the damage bonus when you have C2 Furina, that means I could switch Baiju for Nahida. And no offense to Baiju, but Nahida is a stronger character than Baiju. She can deal a lot of damage, and she can buff Kirara much more than Baiju could. Okay, now Prototype Amber is enough healing. I can have better team diversity so I can do silly non-optimal things like DPS my cat box. That's why I wanted a C2 Furina, is because it lets me do silly non-optimal things in ways that are slightly less non-optimal. It's not a constellation I think you need to have. I can say after using C0 Furina for 2 months now, and this is the main reason I waited, is I wanted to actually get a gauge, because I'm talking about how relevant I think C2 Furina can be to allow Furina to be configured more flexibly in different teams to max out her damage bonus faster, that I personally needed to get a vibe for how C0 Furina performed so that I could, interact with people, talk with people in the Discord community, and be like, yeah, C0 Furina performs like this, and I can have an expectation of how I can answer people's questions on my Discord server or whatever. And that's why I waited so long. And Furina's useful in so many team variations that I needed to get a good vibe for how good she is with C0 before I even considered activating her C2, and didn't need to press that button. But today is the day we're finally, after all my ramblings, we're going to activate her C2. For this video, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a whole bunch of teams, like, say, example, this team, and try to compare the difference in the team's performance with C0 Furina and C2 Furina for you to actually see the difference rather than just me rambling about it to you for 20 years. For what it's worth, I also have constellations, by the way, like C2 Nahida, and I hesitated to get C2 Furina because I actually regret C2 Nahida. I think it's very strong, to be clear. It's one of the more valuable constellations to get as far as strength. I could genuinely make arguments for getting this constellation over other characters because it's that strong. And it's a supportive constellation, so it's good at buffing damage for, your Yai, if you're using Yai and Nahida together, etc., etc. But at the same time, it doesn't really enable me to do new teams or anything, not in the same way that C2 Furina does. So that's what made the difference between C2 Furina, and why I think I will not regret C2 Furina, is that C2 Furina enables new potential team combinations that are basically just very non-optimal, or potentially not even something you could even consider choosing without C2 Furina. And again, because I like doing non-optimal things, where I like having the ability to make worse things better in this game. Alright, so we're going to compare these teams. We're going to compare my DPS Kirara team, and I'll show, what C2 Furina does just as an increase of the team's damage without changing, to Nahida, and then with changing to Nahida instead of Baiju. And I also want to show Dehya with Furina. I will also test this Nuvilet variation. So Nuvilet will be on prototype Amber, right? So Nuvilet already has his own healing mechanics, right? So he can relatively easily max out Furina's damage bonus, but we might see a noticeable upgrade in Nuvilet teams as well, just because, you know, we get damage bonus stacks faster. I'm not sure. Noelle Wet Rock is definitely one I want to test as well, because I have noticed some issues with Noelle's healing keeping up with Furina at C0. I will also check with Hybrid Raiden. I made a whole video about Hybrid Raiden with Staff of Scarlet Sands. This team should get a pretty decent upgrade with C2 Furina as well. The last team I want to try to test out is actually going to be this team, and the idea with this team is we're just going to use Kuki as the main healer. So we're going to do a Kuki Hyper Bloom team, but Kuki is going to be on 4-piece Deepwood, which is going to lower the Hyper Bloom damage a little bit, but it's fine. Do this. Do a Bennett. Okay, let you do your thing. Swirl, and let's see. Hey, there we go. Okay, Dehya still wasn't vaping, but it's fine. The timing is really weird on trying to get Dehya to vape in this team. I also probably need to make sure I'm funneling some more energy to Dehya here. Yeah, there we go. Probably shouldn't have put Bennett's burst down so early. Okay. Okay, but you can see, so this is the problem, of course, with Bennett that a lot of people have. Now, my Bennett is not on a Maiden's build. I would recommend Bennett on a Maiden's build if you're going to use this team with Furina at C0, because Bennett can actually overheal relatively easily with a Maiden's build at C0, and he cannot with this team configuration, right? Slam. Okay, I honestly don't think I played that well, but you got the point. Dehya and Furina work okay together. There's some nuance to when you time certain things to be able to try to get actual vapes on Dehya, and that's not going to change with C2, but we should see very consistent damage bonus with C2. So I suspect it'll be meaningfully better. And blam, activate C2. No going back. Alrighty, let's see how Furina is with C2 Furina is with Dehya. See if it feels better. Did I swirl pyro? I think I did. It's fine. Oh, of course you're doing your thing. Get down here. Hey, nice vapes. Okay, restart things. Bam. This. Oh god, I keep forgetting to funnel energy to Dehya. Oh my god, kill me. Gotta time this. Oh, here we go into your next phase, but hey, we're seeing damage numbers regardless. Okay, where's the butthole? This already immediately feels better, which is not that surprising to me. This is one of the teams where I expected it to feel quite a bit better. You teleport away from me, butthole. Actually, you teleported near this. It's totally fine. Now. Oh, I still don't have energy. Oh my god, bro. I think mostly what we're seeing here, to be honest, is whatever. All right, so unsurprisingly, you know, Dehya felt better with C2 Furina, but I do think a lot of what we were actually seeing was just Furina getting vapes because I wasn't timing things that well with Dehya vapes. So, anyways, I don't know. I can play around with this team more with C2 Furina. I am quite confident I'm going to continue feeling like it's going to be a meaningful improvement to that team. And, right, the issue of characters being at half health or, you know, not being able to max out Furina's bonus to any meaningful degree should be much less of an issue because all you need to do is heal a little bit with Bennett on, like, one character, basically. And blam, wham, blam, you got your damage bonus going. So, yeah, that was unsurprisingly a bit better. Alright, we're going to do Noelle now, and for what it's worth, I do have Yelan constellations, but I have an attack timepiece and a defense percent circlet on Yelan on a build that, you know, has this crit ratio, so she's not going to be doing C6 Yelan numbers. I am very purposely powering down Yelan's damage heavily. Alright, so again, this is with a C0 Furina. Hopefully you'll be able to see here, assuming I get hit, you know, we'll see here, most likely, how our healing is not going to keep up, particularly in sustained rotations. Okay, see, I still have the shield up, and you can see I'm keeping up pretty well, right? But now I don't have the shield up, and the drain is still happening. I should probably restart rotation at this point. And the main way to resolve this, to be clear, with a... okay, and I don't have enough energy recharge on my Noelle, whatever. The main way to resolve this... I think you're going to go here, yep, okay. The main way to resolve this with a C0 Noelle is, generally speaking, to switch Furina to her healing mode. While you're like restarting Noelle and getting energy or whatever, right? So you can just play around it. I really don't think you need C2 Furina for Noelle. There we go. Pretty good. But we'll see. Maybe C2 Furina will make a very big difference. Alright, let's see if Noelle feels better with C2 Furina. Oh, you butthole. Did I not activate Furina's burst, or did it just end already? I think it might have just ended already. I sure hope I activated Furina's burst. I'm gonna facepalm myself in recording if that wasn't the case. Go to your next phase, bro. There we go, okay. I don't have the healing going right now. See, you can see a problem right where I have half health right now, but because I have C2 Furina, we can still max out the damage. Oh my, yeah, 64k is a lot. We were at half health, right? using Noelle at half health, but it wouldn't have been, because we already started such low health, you know, we never switched to Furina and had her healing mode going. Noelle basically couldn't have gotten a lot of damage bonus fairly quickly, whereas now with C2 Furina, you can be in that situation where, whether it be because of misplays or just getting hit by an enemy that's basically impossible to dodge or whatever, you can still get damage bonus stacks really quickly with Noelle. Before, I genuinely felt like this team variation kind of felt like I needed a healer in order to really make use out of Furina's buff. Now with C2 Furina, I don't think I need a healer in this team other than Noelle herself. That is something you can mitigate, though, by the way, by not playing Noelle on 4-piece Hunters, because Noelle will heal meaningfully more on a 4-piece Husk set. Husk is so good as far as the amount of stats it can give in general, plus the fact that it can make you heal more, that I really don't think you need a C2 Furina to any meaningful degree with Noelle there. But for my case, it does make a meaningful improvement and is satisfying, so I can still use Yun Jin and make good use out of the damage bonuses going on in this team and get really big normal attack damage. It was a nice example of like a non-optimal situation that C2 Furina makes the non-optimal situation fine. It doesn't matter. Alright, let's try my DPS Kirara team. Alright, let's see how we do with a C0 Furina here. And again, the main thing with this team is going to be paying attention to how Kirara can do with Nahida compared to Baiju, right?
I'm always watching. Emerge. Right here.
Mind the side effect.
Shower me with praise.
Ow.
With my name echoing song.
Probably should have waited to do that additional Baiju skill. Right. Go to your next phase, please. There we go. Where are you? I love the long animation wind up these buckles.
Right here. Strike a pose.
Ow.
Dare you.
Alright. This. Do with that. I don't even know what damage numbers that got. Whatever. Alright, where's the butthole? get a... Okay. I don't know why my Furina's having so many energy issues. Normally she's fine solo Hydra with her build that she had before, but pretty decent. Alright, now we're going to try DPS Kirara with Baiju this time, but of course the main thing we're also going to test after this is we're going to see how it is with... what's their bucket? Nahida.
Nothing lasts forever. Right now. Emerge.
Oh, give my burst back, please. There we go.
Mind the side effect.
Alright, you're going your next phase, I assume. Please. Please, thank you.
Right now. Right here. Right now.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
Alright, we'll kill him with the cat, and we'll do this, and then do a blam. That's okay, that's the highest damage I've seen from DPS Kirara in Abyss.
Mind the side
Go figure, the extra damage bonus is good for the cat. But now we're going to remove Baiju, which is going to make the team quite a bit more fragile. We might have even like interruption resistance issues, right? So I don't even know if this is going to be a team team variation I'm going to
Still so many places
lean
for us
to,
explore.
but particularly because I have C2 Nahida, this should be substantially stronger as far as total team damage. So we'll see how it does. The biggest problem with this team, if I'm being honest though, is that we're removing, you know, an animal, Baiju as a snake, right? And removing an animal from a team full of animals is, I think it's a sin. I don't know if it's acceptable, to be honest. I didn't crit. Alright, do that while it's doing butthole things.
Right here. Emerge.
And do this. Okay, yep, you're doing your thing. Well, we do damage? Yes, okay. Stop teleporting. Where did you go? Oh my god, bro. These freaking enemies. This Abyss Chamber, like, if you're comparing directly the times by it, there's a little bit of RNG, particularly in this phase, so, like, I wouldn't necessarily directly compare the times that closely. Blam! I didn't crit again! What in the world? Okay.
Right here.
Well, that wasn't bad, but it honestly felt worse than Baiju. We're gonna retry. Alright, some 30k there. I didn't crit again on her burst, bro! It's 3 non-crits in a row. I swear to you, I'm not running 50% crit rate. So obviously you're seeing the health issue, which, again, I knew would be an issue. But the idea is you sacrifice the fragility for... Did I not have Furina's burst up? I'm a twat. You sacrifice the versatility for more damage, or more team versatility, and you acknowledge that. Well, 57k on her skill, what in the world? Alright, so that one is honestly, like, I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm gonna have to, like, play around, honestly, on my own, off camera, with this team variation, and probably more with team variations that are only using Prototype Amber as the healer, because the fragility issue is significant, but if you don't care about the fragility issue, right, really strongly. Like, you saw that with the Kirara skill, where I did this hit and that got 57k. I have never seen close to that much damage before. But the Baiju version felt more comfortable to me. Alright, next is Hybrid Raiden. Now this team is plenty strong without having to do anything like having Furina constellations, but there is some things that are stronger about this team that gain value, I should say, from having Furina constellations. I timed benefits wrong there, by the way. And I think you're already going to be in your next phase, right? Yeah, okay. Of course, we're getting the long animation one again. Like, if you have to do the long animation one, it's like a difference of potentially 5-10 seconds in when you can clear the stupid buttholes. I'm going to try to kill him without... Okay, please die. Alright, well, that was annoying. This team can clear this chamber faster, but there was just slightly annoying circumstances there. Get one big final hit on. Yeah. Obviously, this hybrid Raiden team is plenty strong enough without C2 Furina, but we'll see if it feels notably stronger with C2 Furina. I think it will. Okay, hybrid Raiden with C2 Furina. Let's go. Do a Bennett E, do a U, do a this. Bennett that. And you're gonna rocket to the air, that's fine. Do this and do this. Nice, 100. Yeah, that's a decent bit more damage than I was getting in this team before. I think the highest damage I saw in this team before on Raiden's initial hit was around 160k. Where'd you go? There you are. I shouldn't have done that quite yet, but whatever, it's fine. Slam, you're very dead. Yeah, that's stronger. In my hybrid Raiden video, I think I actually cleared that chamber in 45 seconds with C0 Furina, to be clear. So, again, this is a case where, like, I don't think it's really necessary because this team is so strong. It does make a difference, so if you have it, it's a benefit, right? It makes hybrid Raiden even stronger, which is cool. Alright, last team I want to test here. Good old Kuki on a deepwood build. The idea here, again, is we're using Furina to buff Tighnari and Yai's damage, so they're going to get, you know, good talent-based damage, and then Tighnari is a dendro driver for creating bloom cores, and that Kuki can trigger. So it's a weird hybrid, you know, mostly talent-based DPS spread aggravate DPS team, but also doing a little bit of hybrid bloom Kuki. Okay, there we go. Got poopy. Got Kuki on a 861 EM build on 4-piece Deepwood. This is a team I can say I can't really recommend with a C0 Furina because Kuki is really just not very good at at being your main healer. The only thing Kuki has going, oh, I just missed that hit. The main thing that Kuki does have going for her though is that she can potentially be triggering Furina's passive enough that you can still heal a meaningful degree. And let's make sure we actually use Tighnari. So like we're doing good damage here, right? But you can see the team HP is kind of just dwindling continuously. Oh, don't have energy. Well, we're gonna do non-Furina buff in here. Furina buff. And try to kill you.
Right here. Right now. Our bond is strong.
Activate that. Yes. And, I mean, that's a strong team. Part of the thing that makes that team uniquely work, right, is normally you can't really... It's hard to do a Yai and Tighnari Quick Bloom team because you're not doing a lot of normal attacks, right? Because the good Hydra players are typically, you know, your Yolans and your Xingqiu, and they all require normal attacks to be able to trigger their Hydra application. So, theoretically, Kuki could be good here, specifically because, again, she's good at triggering Hyper Blooms, right? Yai is pretty bad at triggering the Hyper Bloom cores that generate, and Kuki is good at it. So, theoretically, the team could be better with Kuki. It's just she's not a good match for maxing out Furina's damage bonus because of how her healing works, but it also was better than I expected with C0 Furina, but we'll see if it's noticeably better with C2 Furina. Alright, now we're gonna see what healer Kuki with C2 Furina does. Healer hybrid quick bloom Kuki, I don't even know what to call this. Slam. 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 Let's do that. And wow, this thing is dying fast. This is Tighnari's a strong single target character. Oh, I want to be clear, but this definitely felt better. And I think we're seeing the fact that, you know, Kuki is not a good healer for the C0 Furina, but with C2 Furina that don't matter. Can you not teleport, bro? Bro. I think we would have already cleared this if that dude hadn't disappeared. Alrighty, well, that's all the main teams I wanted to try. We're gonna go try my goofy meme build of Furina now to try to get her to 100,000 HP. Oh, I can abuse this card. Oh, let's go. We're gonna choose this card, and I think we might be able to get to the 100k. I know I could just use food in Overworld, by the way, to reach 100k HP, but I want to do it without food. I'm not a coward. Okay, there we go. Next phase. Let's do this. Alright, ow. And hit things, and hit things. And do you. What are you at? Oh, I think 98k is the cap we can be at here. I'm sad. I'm sad. Wow. Also, we're doing like a bit silly damage, but that team's better than it should be. Surprisingly, by the way, Furina wasn't having any energy issues, but I do have, you know, C1 Yelan that's generating on Fabbo, generating a bunch of extra Hydra particles, so I don't know, there's something weird. There's some shenanigans that could be had here. I might have a video trying to min-max this weapon on her. So anyways, in conclusion, was C2 Furina worth it? I don't know yet. You're gonna have to stick around and get my opinion in the future, because I'm gonna have to use C2 Furina probably for at least an equivalent amount of time that I use C0 Furina for. So, you know, 2 months from now, I might be able to say if this was actually worthwhile. I think for most players, it's probably not worthwhile, to be clear. But it has more relevance than other constellations in the game, in my opinion, because it's a supportive-oriented constellation. It doesn't just benefit Furina, it has potential benefits for the whole team. But how much benefit is going to depend on, like, what you want to do with it. It's certainly not necessary, but I think I'm going to get some fun out of it. Thanks for watching.